that's one way. I think. What are some other kind of
One cool thing I just along those lines, I posted one time. I was like, "Man, my Comcast bill just went up," or something like that. I got a direct message on Twitter within seconds, like, "Is there anything I could help you with?" And I was like, "That's kind of cool."
Yeah.
They said, "Call this number, tell them that you talked to me." So I called this number, and they totally like gave me this promotional package and everything, like. And just because of a tweet, I did the same thing with Uprinting. I had a bad experience with Uprinting. I said something about it on Twitter. The guy responded. Obviously they have searches on Twitter for their product names, but they're not just using it to blast people with their message. Like you said, they're looking to hear what people are saying and to get feedback. And
yeah, they're listening, and that's kind of a whole different. That's a whole area that large companies are spending thousands and thousands of dollars on is social media monitoring and what are people saying about you. But Comcast is a great example. Dell is another great example. Quest is now doing it. And that they've got customer service people that are monitoring what's being said about them on Twitter and in blogs and things like that. And they're actively finding people who are having problems and fixing them. I have Quest DSL at my house, and a few months back, my wife happened to mention, I think she sent me, like a text message or something to mention that our DSL at our house wasn't working. And I made some tweet like before I left the office saying, apparently I have to go home and figure out why my Quest DSL isn't working. And the same kind of experience as you had with Comcast is that, within like 15 minutes I had a message from somebody at Quest on Twitter saying, "Hi, I'm so-and-so with Quest. How can I help?" And went back and forth with DMs and helped resolve the problem that way. So listening is another good option. The other thing that's interesting you can do is do a little bit of competitive analysis listening. Don't just see what people are saying about you, see what people are saying about your competitors. Set up some search feeds to, if you're a wedding photographer in Salem, you probably should be seeing what people are saying about wedding photographers in Salem, even if it's not about you. So, because there might be some opportunities there that you can capitalize on.
I have a question. I'm curious why you're using .org for your email instead of .com.
Because Hockley.com is a ski resort outside Toronto, and there's no way in heck I'm ever going to get Hockley.com. If you're referring to instead of AaronHockley.com, I had Hockley.org first and started using that. Future branding, might it have been a better decision to get more consistent, maybe. I don't know.
Are you really organized?
At times. I do keep my email fairly well under control. So, how are we doing on time?
I think we're good. I think we're going to wrap things up here as far as Q&A, and we're going to do the... Oh, did you have one more quick one?
One more.
Okay, one more quick one.
I'll stick around for a while, too, so if you have other questions, feel free to hit me or drop me a note.
I'm brand new into this whole bit, and so I've got a very steep learning curve, and I know a little bit, but just with a little bit, I got a couple names and resources. What are some blogs or some other online resources for personal education on this stuff?
Personal education on this stuff. So, if you're looking for a blog that covers all sorts of social networking tools and sites and things like that, possibly to the point of extreme, but it'll give you good awareness of what's out there, I would recommend following Mashable, which is mashable.com. As far as figuring out blogging things, a good resource. It's written from a very WordPress-specific perspective, which personally I think is the best blogging platform out there. But even if you're not using WordPress, there's a woman named Laurel Van Fossen who actually now lives just outside Portland who has a blog called Laurel on WordPress. It's LORELLE.wordpress.com. And she has years of articles that go into great depth about using your blog, developing your blog, how to write, tech stuff, marketing stuff, authorship stuff. Check that out. And then the other thing, as far as figuring out Twitter, there's not really a good way to get started because everybody, when they first see Twitter, they go there and it's like, 140 characters about what are you doing right now? This sounds really stupid. And it sounded really stupid when I started as well, and we all post that very same first tweet that says, figuring out Twitter. But the key to Twitter, the value in Twitter is who you're following on Twitter. If you don't follow anyone on Twitter, or if you only follow a bunch of like super celebrities, you're not going to get a ton of value out of Twitter, unless that's what you're into is celebrity stalking. The key with Twitter is to start kind of following a few key people and see what they're talking about, see who they're connecting with. Unfortunately, Twitter made a change a while back that you only get to see the replies to people that you are also following, which makes it harder to necessarily know who people are talking with. But if you just go to someone's Twitter page, you can see who do they usually have conversations with, and you'll eventually kind of figure out who you might also want to be connected to there. But I mean, yeah, figuring out Twitter is kind of a fuzzy thing. I don't know anybody's had a good formula for it. I mean, I tweet about everything from family stuff to business stuff to check out this blog post I just wrote to check out this cool blog post that Jason just wrote to all sorts of different stuff, just depending on what's going on. Some people use it real heavily. Some people use it real lightly.
The biggest thing is just to converse. Just get on Twitter and start talking about things that interest you. Like at my day job, I do SharePoint stuff, and I tweeted about a SharePoint frustration. I became friends with the senior product manager at Microsoft running SharePoint just because I was complaining about it. It was like, how can we improve? And you'll make connections. Just talk about the stuff that interests you. Don't talk about your dog. Don't talk about what you have for breakfast. Talk about what you're doing, what you're frustrated about, what you're excited about. Just talk. And you'll figure it out. And going to meetings like this, that's the biggest thing to learn. Because if you Google like social media, whatever, how to succeed on Twitter, you're going to get the quick schemes. And so just participate and ask questions.
And you're going to make mistakes. You're going to tweet something that's going to make somebody mad at some point. You're going to write a blog post that you're going to come back and realize, oh, I wish I hadn't written that. And now it's in Google and everybody can find it. The biggest thing I think, and I'll wrap it up I guess after this, the biggest thing is that you're going to make a screw up. Be honest, be transparent, say, whoops, I screwed up. Twitter's and blogging and all that, tread carefully into topics like religion and politics, much like your office conversations, because you have the ability, you have the potential to offend a lot of people very easily with those topics. So think before you tweet. But I've been guilty of tweeting things that probably have cost me a couple followers. But the other thing is I kind of figure is that if you're making everybody happy all of the time, you're probably not doing as much as you could to extend yourself. So.
All right. Well, thanks, Aaron. Thanks for coming. Yeah.